Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comedy Friend Club. I am your host, Patrick Haggerty, and I'm here with a very special guest, Meeti Purani. How's it going, Meeti?
Pretty good.
Oh, you're doing good?
Yes.
Doing good? Oh, that's great. I like your sweater.
Thank you.
That's good.
It's my go-to.
It's your go-to sweater? Cool. Yeah, I'm happy to have. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. We have a lot of connections. You know, we're both Astoria-based comedians who have significant connections to Albany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we live walking distance.
We do. Oh, really?
3 blocks.
3 blocks? Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Wow. So we should hang out here. We can hang out in Albany. We can hang out
Facts.
in
My apartment.
My apartment. Yeah, we can hang out in all different kinds of places. We'll go to my old dorm that I stayed at in Albany, and we can hang out there.
Oh, snap. You still have access?
No.
Okay.
But I could break in. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's great to have. This is Comedy Friend Club, where we talk about comedy, friendship, and clubs.
Oh.
Yeah, and the good thing about clubs is that we can talk about. There's 2 different kinds of clubs. It's a homonym. What's your favorite homonym that you can think of?
Homonym. Wait. Okay. There.
There's a good one.
Yes.
That's a 3-tiered homonym.
Wait, what kind of clubs are we referencing here? Like.
Well, did you go to college?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you finish?
Yes.
Did you participate in any clubs?
Yes.
What clubs?
Stand-up comedy club.
You were in the stand-up comedy club?
Yeah.
Nice. Me too.
Really?
Mine was more improv, but I was the stand-up comedy chair.
You would be an improv.
Well, that's just what the club was at my particular school. It was more to do with improv. It was a lot of it was actually a lot of short form. It was both. It was short form improv mostly. We did a little bit of long form. How was your stand-up comedy club?
It was fun. It was interesting. It was like stand-up comedy. Like we would have our meetings would be mics with feedback.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Did you do live shows like in front? Did you try to gather an audience and do live shows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it was like so early in the comedy game.
Right.
Part,
Oh, yeah. You're very. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. Oh yeah, you look even better than that. But that's also very young, in and of itself. So okay, so college was a little while ago, not too long ago. So was that how you started stand-up comedy? Was through the club?
Yes, and also making jokes in high school, like being a class clown.
Class clown. Right. Did you ever do any kind of live performance in high school?
No, I tried to, but I was not. I had so much stage fright.
Like the plays, you didn't try to get into the plays.
I tried to, and I didn't get into.
You couldn't. You didn't get into them.
No.
They had that strict of a audition process.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also terribly unlikable.
Well, yeah, I've gotten that. No, I'm only kidding. No, I was in the plays too, and in my high school, if you auditioned, you were in.
Really?
Well, I guess for the most part, you would be, what's the word? Ensemble.
Okay.
So, because we did musicals. Did you do musicals?
Yes.
Yeah. So, could you have gotten in the ensemble if you had so chosen?
They didn't even.
They
offer.
said you're not in.
Yeah, they just said no.
Wow.
Yeah.
For my school, it was. All right. Yeah, you don't have a speaking role, but you at least get to be in it. Yeah.
I'm so glad for you.
You can be friends with everybody. Okay. Yeah. So you should have come to my school instead.
Maybe. What if I got rejected there too? There's always some people who just don't get it.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Did you you went to school in the Albany area?
No, I went to Binghamton University.
You went to Binghamton University? Mm-hmm. Oh, I meant the high school.
Oh no, I went.
What's your connection to the Albany? Because now you're doing a comedy in Albany. Are you from that area?
No, but after I graduated with my master's, I got my first job there.
Oh,
for the government. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, working for the government. Yeah, you were doing some government job. Okay, so this is fairly new that you're connected to that area.
Yes.
So you went to school at Binghamton.
Yeah.
My brother went to school in Binghamton.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, did you go to high school in Albany?
No, I went to high school Staten Island.
Okay.
I went to SUNY Albany.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Albany's a great area. Like,
yeah.
The people there, there's a community that just like envelops everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a small city, and I do love small cities. Like a friend of mine was in Topeka, Kansas recently, and he was telling me about it, and it just made me think about how because cities are really cool. They can get way too big. I think New York City is in many ways is way too big, but the good thing about it is we live in Astoria. You can there's like small sections of city within this big city, so there's ways to get away from it. But Albany's cool because it's a small city. I like a small city.
That's true. Wait, have you been hearing that one guy walking down the street yelling "mommy"?
No.
Okay. So it's like,
yeah.
In Astoria, you can kind of get away, but there's like it's like every so often it just seeps in.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, there's maybe it's just at you. Maybe
no,
no.
Literally for weeks now.
Yeah, you've heard it for weeks from your apartment, like inside.
Yeah,
while
I
you're
hear him on the street like walking around yelling "mommy."
Oh, that must be a 3 blocks away thing.
Yeah.
You know, you guys in the other side of Steinway area.
Yeah.
Are you on the other side of Steinway?
Well, no. So if you go down the street, like down Newtown Road, like one block over, 44th.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, so we're close. Wow. Okay. So we'll get lunch. So that's cool. But yes. Okay. So Albany's. When did you got the job right out of college? You said.
Yeah, it took a while. It took like 6 months. And
that's pretty good though.
On Indeed, if you ever want a government job, apply on Indeed.
Yeah,
that's where they look.
I've been looking. Really? Me and my journalism degree looking for government jobs.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
They don't check on through the government websites.
Oh yeah. What kind of job? Can you just get that with any college degree?
It depends. Yeah, if you get it with like a bachelor's degree, if you have like some political like
background.
Experience. Yeah,
oh, okay. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I talk in front of people. That's like political experience. So, what did you go to school for?
My master's was in public policy and management. So.
Wow, you're a smart girl. So where did you go to what's it called? Your master's was also Binghamton?
No, Carnegie Mellon.
Where's that?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
wow.
Pittsburgh. Have you been to the Pittsburgh comedy scene?
No. I've been to Pittsburgh, but that was a long time ago. No, how's the Oh yeah, I've seen you here and there doing Pittsburgh comedy.
Well, I did a lot of mics there. The community there is really dope. And
right.
Well, somewhat like you know, but it's more like communal.
Good on you where did you grow? You grew up where again? Did you say?
All over the place. So like Canada, Jersey.
Oh, okay, so you grew up all over the place, right? And then you went to school in Binghamton. You had a job in Albany. Then you went to school again, but even before that, it was in Pittsburgh. So which is good. And then now you're in New York City. So you kind of have a little bit of a connection to a bunch of comedy scenes, which is good for that.
A little bit. It's just like a bunch of people who've seen me bomb everywhere.
Right. But that's but the good thing about that is you bomb and then you go back and you kill and they think, whoa, she got good, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Because that was my entire first 4 years of comedy was just bombing my ass off, and then I wouldn't say that I killed, but I would go back to a certain place and then be like, oh, now he's not quite as terrible. So that's that's nice. Right?
Wait, what got you into comedy?
My brother did sketch comedy when he was in college at Cornell, and so I just was around it. He's 11 years older than me, so he went to college when I was 7. I would just go to his sketch comedy shows. So I've kind of been around comedy my whole life.
Okay,
and then so he did sketch comedy. Another brother of mine did improv comedy, and I remember there being this joke when my brother was doing improv saying, oh, well, now Patrick's going to do stand-up. And it was a joke, and I even registered it as one, and I said, okay, yeah, I'll just do that. You know, I have to be the stand-up comedian because we have the sketch and improv guy, so I'll do stand-up. So,
dang.
So I was bestowed stand-up comedy.
God.
Yeah,
the stand-up comedy chair.
That's right. And that's what led to me becoming the stand-up comedy chair for the sketchy characters of SUNY Albany,
which is an improv group.
Improv group, right. I was a stand-up chair of an improv group. That's right. Pretty cool. Yeah, let's go comedies. But what about? But now on to friendship. That's really the crux of this show is friendship. It's the comedy friend club, which is what's most important. So, who's your best friend?
Marisandra.
Marisandra?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a lady?
Yes, it's a lady.
Oh, cool. When did you meet Marisandra?
So when I was in Pittsburgh, I was working at L'Occitane, which is like they sell products and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Marisandra used to work there, so she would come by and visit, like. And so then I would just like, I'm very like, just very like closed off, but she kept on like talking to me, and then we ended up becoming roommates. Wow. We like hung out a lot, and then we just became best friends.
Yeah. Put the mic a little closer to your mouth.
Pardon? Oh, sorry. Yes.
Wow, what a meet cute. What a meet cute of friendship, huh?
Literally.
That's so grad school. You met your best friend.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So you graduated into best friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where does she live now?
She still lives in Pittsburgh.
She lives in Pittsburgh? Wow. So you have reason to go back.
Yeah, I always, whenever I go visit, I stay at her place.
Oh, yeah. That's great. That's great. I love friendship. I'm a big fan of friendship.
True.
Yeah. How about you? Do you like friendship?
Yeah, I love friendship. I love like I think friendship is really important. Like close friendship. But it's like also like I mean, as someone who's moved a lot, like I don't have that many like a gajillion friends. I have friends from high school who still keep in touch with me. But they're not all like BFFs. Are you like someone who has a lot of close friendships?
I would say I have a few really close friendships, and maybe not all that many friendships in general. Mm-hmm. Well, when I was in high school, I didn't have many friends at all. I think I have one friend now who I was friends with in high school, and honestly, even at the time, I didn't have many friends at all. And then college came around, and I was able to kind of reset my personality a little bit, as people are wont to do in college, is you kind of reconfigure yourself. So I was able to make some good close friends in college, and then while I was in college, I actually rekindled some close friendships of guys who I know from Boy Scouts. So I'm friends with Boy Scouts. I have good connections still, and then college I have good connections still. And the good thing about comedy is that you see your buddies all the time. So as opposed to, I think, most types of life, you go to work and then you come home, and you're kind of, if you have work friends, then that's fine. But comedy, I'd say they're my work comedians are my work friends. But also, since we're doing something that's so fun, we become actual friends. There's an actual buddy nature to it.
True.
Yeah.
What do you classify as a friend? Like, what are your like benchmarks?
I'd say we should have to talk still at all, and we'd have to have something that we connect on other than just knowing each other. So that's actually what I was going to ask you about your friend is, what do you do together? Like, you stay with each other and you're close. Do you have any shared hobbies or activities that you particularly like?
We're so different. Like, my best friend and I, we're so different. Like, the friends that I have around here will like go hiking together and stuff like that, and that'll be fun. Or like we'll like go to a show together. But with like my closest friend, like I think it's more so about like vulnerability and relating and like life and like similar like childhoods and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And like a shared vulnerability, like that to me like creates like a best friendship.
Right. Well, yeah, and that even becomes like a family relationship of that you have with that person, because a lot of my family who I'm even closest to, we don't have as much that we're like locked in on with each other, but we open up with each other and are able to connect just on being like, yeah, what are you up to? The other person is what we have in common. Having each other is what we have in common. We're just like, oh, what are you doing these days? Like my best friend, he has 2 kids. He's like married with 2 kids and owns a house, and he lives in New Orleans. And so we don't see each other very often. So I think we connect most on just caring about what the other's up to. That is still a deep connection that we have, is just being like, hey, what's up? So what's your friend's name again? Marisandra. It's great.
But I do have other friends.
Yeah, you and your one friend, Marisandra.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's your best friend.
Yes.
That's your best friend. Who's your second best friend? And you can't say anyone's tied. No, I'm just kidding. But who are some other of your close friends? Who are your close friends in this area?
In this area?
Yeah.
Maria from high school.
Oh.
Like, we, like, hang out, go to she, like, invites me to she does softball around here.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like, kickball,
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
She's part of the teams here.
Yeah.
She's dope. She's really sweet. And who else? Like, Miranda went hiking. Well, actually, also Becky. She doesn't live in New York City, but she lives in New Jersey, and we meet up and go hiking together. And she's also a friend from high school.
Can I just check one thing? All right, we're back.
Hey.
Yeah. So you're talking about your friends from close by, and so your friend from high school. Where did you go to high school again? I know
New
I
Milford High School.
New Milford in Pennsylvania.
No, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, so your friend also moved to New York City.
Yes.
Yeah.
She lives in Harlem, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Could you do a little closer to your mouth?
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. I just want to make sure it's getting your voice. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So what do you guys do together?
Go to shows.
You go to shows?
And like play softball and like go to parties. I
You
don't know.
play softball?
No, I mean I went one time and then I don't know, just don't really know. They meet up on Saturdays. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So you went to watch one of the times?
No, I played.
You played?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I had a lot of fun. So sorry.
Yeah. Cool.
Just
Cool.
a lot of screaming.
You had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's what's most important. That's what they say. Is it doesn't matter who wins or loses.
Yeah.
It's if you had fun. But you know what's most fun?
What?
Is if you win.
It's true.
I play softball on Sundays myself.
Really?
Yeah, I have a game tomorrow.
Oh, are you part of the league, the local league?
No, I play on Staten Island.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, I go to Staten Island to play, which is where I obviously so that's where my brother plays, and it's where I started playing right out of college. So I've never gone a season without playing some kind of organized ball. At least not since I was like 4 years old was the last time I didn't play organized baseball or softball.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so I'm still keeping up with it, and that's just where I have the connection. I guess I could play in Astoria. Like I know there's a few leagues
are there?
in the area. Yeah. But yeah, I play. I play first base. I'm pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good. How's your friend? Is she good?
Yeah, she's really good. Yeah.
Oh, she's good. Cool.
She's an athlete.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so you have so you have
So you have friends. Yeah.
so you have friends. No, that's cool. No, but you have a wide array. You do different things with different people. I've said that.
Comedy friends are the most difficult. Can we just talk about that?
Yeah, tell me.
Comedy friendships are the most challenging.
How so?
Well, I mean, there's so much competition in
Yeah.
the scene
Right.
that inherently makes it difficult.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. How long have
Mostly
you been doing
dudes.
comedy like hardcore?
Hardcore?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been doing it really hardcore, but
Yeah.
like consistent.
Well, you're great at Comedy Fight Club. So let's talk about you as a comedian right now. I'll push you up here. So great at Comedy Fight Club. You've had some great videos for Comedy Fight Club. You have some shorts that have gone semi-viral, we'll call it. Very cool. And then you're doing a cooking show on your YouTube, and you've done a few of my stand-up comedy shows. I've seen you do a bunch. You do a lot of cool stuff. So you're in it right now. It's so funny. Stand-up comedy is very funny in that way. Is that we've known each other maybe 2 years, like decently well. Where you could have been doing it for 20 years, and it just happens to be when we ran into each other, or I could have met you on your first day of doing comedy, and I really have no idea. So that's a funny thing about it is I don't know how long people have done comedy, and it is a funny thing. Like John Ajota is just someone who popped into my mind where when I see him, there's like, oh, we've known each other for 6 years. Like there's people who were like comedy colleagues with people, and you realize, oh, we've been like buds for a while. You become close friends by accident a little bit.
That's true. It's also like male friendships are different in the scene too, right? Like,
yeah, a little bit.
Like John Joda is really nice.
Yeah.
He's
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some friendships over time in the comedy scene that have been like, oh wow, like this person is just a dope ass person, and there's like so many values that align. And in that sense, comedy is great in terms of like really getting to know someone on like a deeper level. Immediately.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and I found that all of us are the funny person. So you were the class clown in high school, right? As you were saying before. And, so there could be a jock or a nerd or a punk rock kid or this or that. And we all are just like, oh, I was the funny one in that group. And like, oh, me too. And you're just always the clown of whatever group you were in. So there's a pretty significant connection right away, even though you realize, oh, we don't have anything else in common. But this is the most important thing to both of us, is that we're the funny one in this particular group. So
facts, yeah, because then you like understand where that person's coming from, like when they're making a joke, whether it's funny or not, you're like, oh, I fundamentally understand what you're like, where you're at. And you realize, oh, I could probably jump into the same groups that you were part of, and vice versa, because all you have to do is just be the funny one. That's all that really matters to comedians, is just that it's like, oh, I got some good laughs at that hangout. That's true. Although there are some different like sense of humor amongst like different groups, because there might be like jocks or whatever, like certain people who prefer to make fun of other people, or people who make fun of like other circumstances rather than people. Definitely. And
I guess, but the comedians who come out of the ones who then become a actual comedian, there's the funny jock who's just good at making fun of people, but then there's the actual comedian who's like just making an ass of himself, and it's like, oh, that's the comedian. That guy's just like a cool guy who found a good angle of how to make people like him. That guy's a comedian because he's like tripping over himself on purpose and like doing things to belittle himself to make the other guys on the team laugh. And then the same with other groups is, oh, there's always like, oh, that's the buffoon. Like that's that's how we connect.
Facts.
Facts. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. But we were talking about comedian. Oh, so but you have a different interaction with female comedians. Is that what you might have been getting at?
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's not the same for all female comics. Like people like connect on different things. But yeah, I mean, like with there's like a certain level of like challenge in connecting with female comics when you're funnier than them.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. Well, yeah, and I guess the reason why when you brought that up, why I went to, you've been doing comedy for a while now, but it's still like, it's the beginning of a while, I would say, at the very least. That when I was early on doing comedy, the kind of, oh, we gotta fight for spots and like really we gotta push each other out of the way to get to where we want to be. Once you get it, what I've noticed in my life as a comedian is there's plenty of room for everybody, or there's not enough room for anybody. Like, so it's so in a way, both of those are like, oh yeah, we're both, it's going to be hard for both of us. We both have to work really hard within our own thing, and someone else getting spots, if anything, that's like helpful. Like if you're friends with somebody and they start getting stuff, and then you connect with them, then they could actually help you like move up with them. So I think there were definitely some comedians who, especially like other high energy short comedians, I feel like I was like, we're battling each other for spots a little bit, but I think you realize quickly that it's not really how it works. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I like the idea of like there's enough room for everyone, but at the same time there's not.
Yeah, right.
It's like, how do you navigate that though? Like, how do you differentiate
whether there's enough room?
Yeah, like it's like, are the spots available based on like superficial qualities? Like, is it like, oh, we need like a brown person, a woman, like, or
yeah, I mean, a little bit they are, but ultimately it is just to do with whether you're funny. So you might get booked once off of just being the thing that they need for that particular show, but then you have to be funny in order to get booked like a lot. I mean, I guess if you are that potential minority type or that typecast type of thing, and if you're the funniest one of that, then you might get booked all the time, because it's like, oh, now that coincides with two things we need on this show, which is that type of person and also a funny person, which is definitely more important, but the other thing is still like 20% of the reason that they, or not even, like 10% of the reason why they might get booked is because it's like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of something. But I've even seen I think there's been a flip to some degree over during our time in comedy, like over the past, especially 5 years and maybe even more like 10 years, where I see a white male comedian on a show. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting on that show. They already have their white male comedian. There's actually, and then there's plenty of like, and I'm talking about good shows. Like good shows, there's a little bit of like, oh yeah, like well, we want to hear a different perspective. That's the positive way of me looking at it is they want to get the other perspective. Like female, for instance. What I've found is, men for almost 100 years have been saying, "Oh, my wife," and now we get to hear, "Oh, my husband." It's like, oh, cool. That's a little different, at least.
Well, why do you think why do you think there are so many white male comics? What is it about your demographic?
What is it? So my theory that I have to some degree, and I think it evolves as time goes, is that women it's not cultivated
funny
as much. Well, no, they're not they're not asked to be funny. I think there's like, if they aren't funny, it's because they're told like, oh, you don't need to be funny. That's not a quality that we're necessarily looking for in you. Whereas men, like, or boys even, is like, oh, we want you to be funny. So I don't, and it's different for different people. I mean, if you were the class clown in high school, you were probably crushing because it's like, whoa, a chick's funny, like that's awesome, So
that's a good point.
Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think there's so many white males in comedy?
I think confidence. I think that they're very like certain, because it's also like when I go into a lot of these scenes that are like not New York City, where it's like we kind of like have more debate about like what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. There's a lot more inappropriate conversations happening that are dominated by white men. Mm-hmm. So it's also like on the Reddit, like stand up subreddit, someone posted recently that they're like a black woman and in a scene like dominated by white men in like Austin, it's like she hears a lot of like offensive like jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is it's hard to even get a really good grasp of that being in New York City because there's so much diversity in New York City. It's like to the point where what I said is somewhat accurate, at least, right? Is that if they have one white male on a show, it's like, well, we have our one white male because there's so much diversity in New York City that is like, yeah, we can get away with saying that. Whereas to be fair to these other locations, they're like, guys, that's the only comedians who are here. Like, not the only ones, but it's like 90% of the people who are trying comedy are white males in Austin, or maybe not Austin as much, but like in Dallas, certainly. Like, imagine if you went to Dallas and you're like, really? You have this many white males on a show? And you're like, guys, that's the only people who are here. Like, what do you expect?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
And that's the city's fault. I think it's such a funny thing as I book a lot of shows, and whenever I don't have women, I like having women on the show. I think it's really positive for the environment of the show. I think I think the bar patrons are just like, it's just calmer and like it just makes everything just kind of flow nicely. I like the feeling of having a lot of women on a show. When I don't, I'll say, well, like I've put posts out like, oh, let me know if whoever wants spots, and I have a bunch of shows coming up, and I'll tell them, well, not as many women hit me up about that. And I even have the argument against myself being, well, why didn't they feel comfortable to be on the show? And I really don't think that that's the case. I think there's more male comics. There are more of them. But you need to cultivate an environment that is like, yeah, it's like, it's cool. Like everything's fine. Like, it's going to be a good. And then even aside from like the environment, mentally and emotionally, my shows are on Staten Island. Not every female necessarily would feel awesome about like traveling during that time of night all the way to Staten Island. So there's factors involved that are just like harder for women in a lot of ways. Women have it pretty hard. I don't know. I agree with women.
Yeah, you're an open mind.
Yeah. But what I try to do to that point is like, even I asked you if you wanted to do a show, and I said I'll drive you back to Astoria. And then I try to make, and then what I'll do with female comics a lot of times too is, hey, if you have a friend who drives, they can do a spot too. Like I want to make it easy and like calm and nice, for everybody. So I do my best, but I know it's can be hard.
No, you do a good job. Yeah.
I think I do a great job.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. No, I try to make it so that it's easy for anybody involved, because I like having women on the shows. I think it right away makes the audience like, oh, this must be a pretty nice show. It's not just rah, rah, I don't know, like men are it's generally more abrasive. I don't know. People like what women are cool. Women are pretty cool.
That's true.
Other than those bitches.
Yeah, fuck those.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her, right. That's the one I'm talking about. Yep. Oh, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
But you're friendly.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I try to book. I try to keep it friendly. Yeah. Pretty friendly. Yeah. So, how's your week? How was your week?
Pretty good. Mostly just did nothing.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah,
but
you worked.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it you were telling me about your job? What's your job?
I do budgeting for a hospital.
Budgeting for a hospital. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually been watching a lot of Scrubs recently.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it's like?
I'm not on the hospital floor, but I'm just like looking at all the data and then just like organizing it.
Right. So more like ER, the TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more like Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. It's more like Grey's Anatomy.
Literally.
Yeah. Would you say it's more like Grey's Anatomy or Scrubs?
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Then or House.
It's probably just like House.
Yeah.
Your job's probably just like House.
Yep.
Wow, really? Like there's little detective work that you have to do?
Basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Through reports.
Can you bring me to work? Yeah,
through
right.
Numbers.
You are doing reports and numbers. Oh yeah, you're doing like little detective work. I want to check it out. Man.
It's fun.
You have a cool job.
A lot of VLOOKUPs.
What is that?
A lot of it's an Excel formula where you like
VLOOKUPs.
Yeah, like
okay.
You connect one data set to another data set and then you group it.
Yeah, VLOOKUPs. That's what's the doctor that looks at girls' private parts?
Oh,
gynecologist.
Yeah.
That's what they do. VLOOKUPs. Yeah. Wow. So you're a gynecologist.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing that you have a master's and they let you be a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
It's in demand.
It's in demand. Yeah.
Since COVID.
You can only do vaginas though if you have a master's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you only need a bachelor's for penis. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's fine. I don't know. That's ugly, and like you just say it's ugly. Like I have a bachelor's degree. I can tell a guy if he has an ugly dick.
Yeah. Well, as a woman, I can't tell a guy if he has an ugly dick because
right.
That's a little upset.
Right.
And
a woman can only do it if she has a doctorate or like more than is an MD, but a man should just be able to do it if he has a bachelor's.
Yeah, and a woman can do it if she's blonde.
Yep. Then she can say that he has an ugly dick.
Yeah.
That's ugly. It's like, oh, I should get another what's the word?
I should dye it.
Another opinion. I should get another opinion. I should dye it. Wait, dye it or diet?
Both.
Yeah. I should change the color. I should change the color of my dick and also eat better. Yeah. That's fair. Both of those are ways to make your dick less ugly. Wow, we just found another homonym, but one is a full word and one is two words.
Whoa.
Wow, we're like rappers.
Hell yeah.
We're like a couple of rappers. Did you ever sing?
Have you ever rapper?
Rapper.
That's a homonym.
Rapper's a homonym. Yeah. That's right. It is. But yeah, well, it's a homophone because a homonym has to be spelled the same.
That's true, and probably also homophobe.
Yeah, you're a homophobe.
Rapper, yeah.
You're a homophobe. I'm gonna put that. Meaty's a homophobe. Is gonna be
that's perfect.
Name of the episode. Wow, homophobe. That's cool. So what we were saying homonyms. But yeah, rapper. Did you ever sing? Did you ever?
Yes.
Yeah. Really?
Mm-hmm. in middle school.
Yeah? What kind
I
of
was in
songs?
choir. I was in
You were in the
chamber
choir?
Yep.
How did you not get in the plays? I don't know. I got to go check this thing out.
Well, one time in choir practice, the choir teacher was like, "Everyone sing this note. I want to find out who's off."
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was me.
It was you?
Me, yeah. It was me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I knew in the moment.
You were
So
like,
I
it's going to be.
wasn't completely tone deaf.
It's going to be me. Right. You weren't completely tone deaf. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's a funny thing though, because I bet if you had like leaned into the fact that you were tone deaf, you probably could have been like that character in a play. And it's like, whoa, that's like the girl who can't sing.
Like Miranda sings.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And didn't she get into a little? It's just I'm good.
Yeah. Who's Miranda sings?
She is a YouTuber that like has lipstick all over her face, and
right.
she sings like,
yeah. Oh.
Hey, what's up?
It's okay.
So good.
This is my fiance.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, but we're talking about homophones here. I love a good homophone. Yeah. So, do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, on the 30th, I was like at the Actors Theater.
Yeah.
It's like a mixed art event.
Right.
So there.
Yeah.
And then on the 1st at Eastville at 8 p.m.
Oh, the 1st of May.
Yeah.
So that's that's Wednesday.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, that's right. I asked you to do a show, but you couldn't do it because of Eastville Comedy Club.
No, it was the Laughing Buddha. I signed up, and then I like asked people to come, and then the confirmation email happened, and I don't even know. Wow. It was all the same day, too,
Woo.
Which is crazy.
Man, oh wow. You just got too popular out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you're doing it that Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, at Eastville.
Yeah.
You're doing the Eastville Buddha show? Nice. All right. You got it, kid.
It'll be good.
Do you have the peeps?
Yes.
Your friends are like, let's do it?
Yeah.
Coming from Pittsburgh?
No, from here. From my city.
Coming from Pittsburgh.
My cousin.
All the way from Pittsburgh. Your cousins?
Yeah, my cousin.
Cousins? Oh, your cousins live in the area?
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Is that why in Astoria specifically?
Manhattan.
Wow, they must be rich.
Yeah, they're too.
What do they do?
She does like, I don't know. Honestly, she changes her jobs every so often. So it's like something in marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's good though.
Yeah.
She must be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
If she lives in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times Square.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does she live in that Coca-Cola sign?
No.
That's the only part of Times Square I know.
But a few blocks away.
She lives near the Coca-Cola sign?
No, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not too far.
That's where King Kong did his thing.
Oh, whoa.
You ever seen King Kong?
No.
Really?
But I've heard of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Jurassic Park.
Really? That's a great answer.
Yeah.
This show is going to love that. I don't know.
Really?
But that's, I don't know. Really, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Great movie.
What's your favorite movie?
Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
Or Back to the Future 1. Like they flip-flop depending on the moment. I love Back to the Future.
Interesting. What's the difference between 1 and 2?
So 1, he goes to the past, and in 2, he goes to the future. And also the past.
Whoa.
Have you haven't seen them?
No, but I've seen clips.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But you've seen Jurassic Park. That's such a good answer. You're in. Cool. What's your favorite comedy of all time? Comedy movie?
Comedy movie. And not a special, right?
Okay. Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want. Whatever it brings you to.
Comedy movie. I don't know.
Mine's Liar Liar. Have you ever seen
No,
Liar Liar? Jim Carrey.
What's it about?
It's a Jim Carrey movie. It's
I like
about
it.
yeah. It's about Jim Carrey. His son wishes for him to not be able to tell a lie because he's like a bad father who always says he's going to be able to hang out with his son, but then he's not able to because of work. So he wishes that he can't tell a lie, and he's this lawyer who lies all the time in order for his work. Like,
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he goes into work and he can't lie, and he like is trying to lie all the time, but he can't do it. So he's telling the truth in really inopportune settings, and it's really great.
Does he lose his job?
He eventually does, yeah. He eventually does, but he does a good. But he actually like wins the case. Are you okay with me ruining Liar Liar? It's a almost 20-year-old movie, so I think it's okay. But yeah, he wins the case by finding out how to win the case by telling the truth. So it's actually like it's actually like an oddly good lawyer movie in its own way. Like it's supposed to be this bananas off the wall comedy, but also then the lawyerliness is like, oh, that actually was a good job by him as a lawyer.
That sounds like a good movie.
It is a very good movie. Yeah. As if you're a comedy fan, but yeah. What about you? Have you had time to think of your favorite comedy?
Well, I was thinking about like Bill Burr's latest special, which is really good. But yeah, that's about it.
I saw him live recently.
Oh, really? Okay, he's dope.
At Forest Hills. So
how was it?
In Queens. It was awesome. Actually, my lovely fiance brought me there for my birthday a couple years ago,
nice.
And it was pretty cool. So the way I compare it to is in sports. There's like my favorite athlete, and then there's these other guys who are also amazing. And so Bill Burr's not necessarily my favorite comedian, but going to see him is like, oh shit, like that's still amazing. Like he's up there. He's just the best, and he was awesome.
Yeah, I like his like writing style. It's like very like it's interesting to learn from.
Yeah.
Too. Also, Cat Williams' World War III. Have you seen that?
No, is that just that just came out, right?
Yeah, I think like a couple years ago, but it's
because he just had one come out also.
Really?
I think like yesterday.
Really?
Cat Williams had a special come out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he just gets funnier and funnier. Like, but like his jokes are like I cannot, like, it's just so funny and so intelligent. So it's like
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I gotta watch his because he obviously did that viral thing about all the black actors who are gay for pay and stuff.
That was wild.
Yeah. So I haven't even seen that. And Cat Williams is a funny one where I'll ask people who their favorite comedians are, and then he'll come up a lot. And I think, I never got into him. I think when I was younger, he was just so in your face that I probably started watching him when I was like 11, or like I first encountered him when I was like 11, and I think he was too much for me, too much for my fragile little mind. So I wasn't able. So I kind of set him aside and got into the boring, slow working comedians. So I need to give him another shot.
Yeah, like his earlier stuff is like definitely. He's just developed so much since then.
Okay, that's the other thing. I think that's what it is too. Is that I think he's obviously gotten really good. So I got to watch his. So what's the name of the special that you like?
World War III.
Where is that somewhere right now?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Yeah. So that makes sense because I saw a special of his on Netflix. It might have even been that one, and I just happened upon it recently. But yeah, I got to watch Cat Williams. So you've done me a solid already. So you being here is already a positive because I got to check out Cat Williams. Bill Burr. Yeah, Bill Burr. It was cool seeing Bill Burr that time. I saw him live, and then his special came out like maybe 2 weeks later, legitimately very, very quickly after. And it was like the mirror of the set I had seen, where it was all the same premises in the same order, but it was different jokes. Which it was very impressive. Watching the live thing and then the special in a row, I was like, whoa, he's amazing. So he wrote 2 hours of the same set. He wrote 2 of the same set, basically. It was like, wow. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's like his live performance is so good in terms of seeing how he basically has those bar show skills that he has elevated into like a theater type of environment.
Yeah.
And like it's just like as a learning comic, like there's so much information that can be gathered from the way that he performs. And like also his specials are so like conversational. Like it's like when I watch a special with someone, I want to pause it and be like, oh my God, like let's talk about what he just said.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's just like a mixed bag. Like he goes across like a range of perspectives like through his like sets. So it's in that sense it's like very interesting to like pick apart his comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think, and even to that point, what I noticed seeing him live, it was an arena, and to your point, like it is like that bar show feel of kind of attacking the crowd while also like attacking things that the crowd wants you to attack. And so the environment was filled with people going, the whole crowd was doing this of like, yeah, whatever, 20,000 people of being like, like where it's like, yeah, that's you. When it was a tennis stadium. I was really, really far away from him, and there was still this environment of you hear this? That's what I've been telling you. That's the whole crowd.
And that's why I fucking love him. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, but it's like his like 5-minute sets like don't really capture what he actually does. Like he's more long form comedian.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, he's amazing. He had that Philly rant. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's like early on in his
It's early on. Yeah, I think it was almost like this locked in of, like, and I connect things to athletes where they do this thing like their rookie of the year season. You think like that's a great rookie season, but then if you're a real fan, you think, yeah, but then a few years later they actually became amazing. He's gotten better and better. To your point about Cat Williams, Bill Burr has gotten better and better because I watched some of his early stuff and I'm always like, wow. This isn't even close to as good as he became. Same with Louis C.K., which I know he's done his stuff, but his early specials, the ones that made him famous, I watch them now and I think, oh, this is kind of boring compared to what he did later. Same with Bill Burr. I think his early stuff is like, wow, I loved it at the time, but yeah.
Ooh, so my take on Louis is different. Like I feel like Louis been talented in his delivery since like early on, and like his writing has been really funny. And I think like as a comic, like when I observe his work, I feel like he's developed a base over the decades that he's been working. But I feel like after like the controversy happened, like he kind of like shut down like a part of himself. Like when I saw him perform in Albany like a few years ago, I feel like there's so much excitement for what he's going to say and like the insight that he has. And like he doesn't crack that barrier. And I wish he did. I wish he did like delve into more of that like vulnerability that he was banking on earlier. Right.
Well, he kind of wasn't allowed to, at least really early on after the controversy, where before that he was like giving political advice. He was saying we should vote for Hillary because she's a mom, and he was the guy. He was a very important figure in pop culture at the very least, and then it even evolved. He was such an important figure there that he evolved into being an important figure in like real life stuff. So once all the controversy happens, he comes back and he says, "Well, I'm not allowed to talk about any of that stuff anymore." So he just talks about but it's probably not quite true.
That's not true at all.
Yeah.
It's like he's just, I don't know. It just like there's so much skill and so much opportunity there that like the pain of it, he needs to just allow it to fade a little bit. Yeah,
right. Which I guess he's taking a year off, so maybe maybe that'll help him come back and be able to say, "Oh, I won't be able to talk about the truth of sexual harassment because you guys won't respect that at the very least. But I can talk about other stuff."
But like, okay, but then again, when you look at Dave Chappelle, right? Like he's making jokes that people don't respect, but he's leaning into it, right?
Right.
And he's really going into the art form of it, and he's really going into like, how can I make the same punchline like 50 different ways?
For sure.
And so why can't Louis do the same thing? Like, why can't he just embrace the pain?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm all about it. I guess. Most people, I mean, he has his fans, so that's really all he's catering to anyway at this point. He's not, there's
Louis is an icon.
He is an icon, but people dropped him,
they didn't drop him. No, not entirely. Like
not entirely.
They maybe punished him, but right. Louis still has that standing in people's hearts, even though they won't vocalize it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. So right. So the question is, he at least for a little while, the truth was he was put in a different place. He was this political figure almost before the controversy. Then afterwards, people said, "Okay, maybe we don't need to look at you as as such a answerer of questions as you were before." So and I think he at least still believes that to be true, and maybe you're right. Maybe he's just so good. He's such a good comedian that he probably could jump back into that. Just like George Carlin did that until the day he died. He was talking about like important issues and making them funny. Louis could probably still do that, but he also can write an hour of just straight jokes. And that's what he's doing because that's what he feels comfortable with. So Yeah, but from what I've seen, I still think that people won't allow him to talk about anything other than like silly jokes. I don't think that people want him to talk anything about anything other than just jokes.
Maybe. I mean, as a Louis fan, and like I want to hear that. I want to hear his vulnerability. I want to hear him like unravel everything that happened and just kind of like go into it.
Yeah. Well, he talked a little bit about it, right, in some of his specials. But I think to your point, I don't think he feels comfortable talking about it. Yeah. So and again to your point, he needs to start there before he can talk about anything else in terms of vulnerability. So he can talk jokes no matter what. He can do all the time. But if he wants to talk about he does it on his podcast, so I guess you should listen to him as a guest on podcasts. He gets a little bit more into that kind of stuff. So maybe that's something that you should take. I'll take a look at Cat Williams. You take a look at some Louis C.K. podcasts. There was a period of time recently where I was just Googling Louis C.K. on a podcast, and I was when he was like promoting that movie with Joe List, and then when he was promoting his garden special. He was on a lot of podcasts, and he opened up a lot more. He opened up at least about his beliefs of politics and stuff. Did you see the one with him on Shane Gillis's show?
No.
It's really cool. They talk about the presidents, every single president, and he talks about how he says Donald Trump's like the worst person in the world and stuff like that. So he goes into a little bit more. Of some vulnerabilities. So go check that out.
For sure.
But not you. Go just watch this. But it is.
Yeah. He gives secrets too on some of his podcasts, like Comedy Insights.
Yeah. Yes. He said some things about parenting that I was like, wow, that's
really?
like brilliant. Yeah. He's an amazing mind. He is, and he's great at jerking off in front of women also. He's really good at that also, which he's good at a lot of things.
I mean, sign me up.
Yeah, we all, who knows, Sarah Silverman liked it, and she's a genius in her own right.
Yeah, she is. She's really funny.
So, so maybe it was pretty funny when he jerked off in front of all those women.
Who knows? We all make mistakes.
We've all jerked off in front of women. Right?
Yeah,
You've done
it. My mom has caught me,
Sure. Yeah. So definitely check out his podcast. If you're looking for some more vulnerability, especially recently, go check it out. I think you'll really like it. I think it'll be pretty cool. But that's pretty good. We had a good time here on the Comedy Friend Club show, talking about comedy, friendship. Yeah. You and your best friends from Pittsburgh and from nearby. You have 2 friends.
Now I have 3 friends.
Now you have 3 friends. Wow. Oh, that's great. And you were in clubs. It is funny. So now you and Ada Detsky have told me about clubs, and they're both comedy clubs. So it's connecting the comedy and the club of Comedy Friend Club. But friendship, that's the whole world's over. That connects to us all. Friendship.
True.
Yeah, true. All right. Is there anything else you want to plug? Maybe your social media stuff or anything like that?
Also, community is very important.
Yeah.
But also follow me on social media. My handle is at MEEEEEETTZ on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah. And it'll be below. It'll be in the description of this show, so it'll be there for them to check it out also. Thanks. Yeah, cool. So that was Meeti Purani. Thanks so much for coming again.
Thank you, Patrick.
It was awesome. But yeah, that's it for this show, and good night, everybody. All right. Ah, shit.